And welcome to the Kanawha Valley Hustlers podcast. I am your host, Joe Justice, the Kanawha Valley Hustler, and I am here this week, the week after Thanksgiving. And you know what? I figured it was going to be very difficult to get guests between, last week, this week, and everything going on and the holidays and all that. So instead, I thought for this week we would focus on some marketing stories, some marketing tales, some marketing practices, and just do a little one-on-one, me with you, as we discuss, some of the more exciting things about marketing, some of the fundamental concepts that a lot of people don't quite understand, and maybe help you out with your hustle and help you improve your business, especially for entrepreneurs just getting started. So what I was wanting to discuss with you today is the concept of price anchoring, which is a very important concept and something that a lot of attention isn't paid to. To start out, let me tell you the story of Wendy's. Dave Thomas, when he started Wendy's, how he operated and used this concept of price anchoring. Well, he started out with the regular cheeseburger and the double cheeseburger. Of course, the regular cheeseburger, I think, was something like 99 cents. The double cheeseburger was $1.50, something like that. In the grand scheme of things, there was more margin on the double cheeseburger. So what he really wanted to sell was the double cheeseburger. Well, there was a problem. People were used to the single cheeseburger, so they were fine with that idea. But when they got to the double cheeseburger, all of a sudden, it seemed too much. They didn't want to go for it. I don't want to be a glutton. I don't want to overeat. That's too expensive. So forth and so on. So as he got to thinking about it, he came up with the idea of doing a triple cheeseburger. The triple cheeseburger was something like $2.50. So I think the single cheeseburger was $1. The triple cheeseburger was basically $2.50. So it was cheaper than, having a 3 single cheeseburgers. But the profit margin on it, when everything was all said and done and everything was worked out, the profit margin was much better. So here's the thing, though. Here's the trick. Here's what you have to understand from a psychological standpoint on what Dave Thomas did by creating this triple cheeseburger. What he didn't want to do was sell triple cheeseburgers. What he wanted to do was sell more double cheeseburgers. People had this idea that the cheeseburger was enough. The double cheeseburger was too much, right? So when you put that beside the triple cheeseburger, now the triple cheeseburger becomes too much, and the double cheeseburger, that feels just about right? You see where this is going? So by creating the triple cheeseburger, he anchored the price. He did price anchoring, and he anchored that price to something that the customer would compare everything else to. You get this giant triple cheeseburger, and that little teeny tiny singular cheeseburger just doesn't look, oh man, that's not going to fill me up at all. And the triple cheeseburger, it's huge, it's gigantic, it looks delicious, but that's just too much. That's just too much. You know what I'll do? I'll pick the one right in the middle. That's what I want to do. I want to pick that double cheeseburger, and guess what? That's exactly what Dave Thomas wanted to sell. That's what he was going for. Now, once you start opening yourself up to this price anchoring concept, you will see this in lots of industries all over the place. You'll notice that cars, even though they have the same basic chassis, especially the way that they're built nowadays, and same basic structures, you'll see that they have tiers. They have like the economy model, they have the standard, kind of the family model, the regular model, then they have the luxury model. Now, yes, you do have the extreme luxury end of things, and those also anchor pricing and everything, but basically you have these 3 tiers in almost everything. You see the same thing in software. You have kind of like the dirt cheap software model. You have the middle of the road one, and then you have this extreme, high-end one. And you always notice, especially in software, you'll always notice that middle one, it'll highlight it and say something like, best value or most popular or something to that effect. And the idea behind that is they want to sell that middle tier. That's really the one that they think is going to get them the most bang for the buck, right? Because, they might make more money on the higher end, the luxury end one. They might make more money on that. But the truth of the matter is most people aren't going to go for that. Most people aren't going to buy the Cadillac. Most people aren't going to buy the Lexus. Most people are going to get the sensible, what they imagine is the sensible choice. That's why you have to use the price anchoring to define in their mind what the sensible choice is. Just like with the cheeseburger. The sensible choice is the double cheeseburger, not the triple cheeseburger. The triple cheeseburger is too much, and the single cheeseburger is not enough. So the sensible choice. But without that triple cheeseburger, then the double cheeseburger, it becomes too much. You see the same thing in fitness centers. So consider if you sign up for a gym, you'll notice that you'll have different tiers of access, and maybe, the high-end one maybe includes massage and maybe includes, sports medicine type of things. But then you have the regular tier, and then you have kind of the dirt cheap tier, the economy tier, whatever that might be. So you'll notice this pattern over and over once you start to realize it. It's incredibly important for you to harness this. There's a lot of psychology behind this. There's a lot of technique behind this. It's absolutely necessary. You need to protect the perception of value in your products. It's very important. If you give somebody a single price, for example, if you have a product and you say the price for my widget is $1,000. You give yourself no wiggle room, and they're going to haggle with you. They're going to debate with you. They're going to want to challenge your price. The only thing you can do at that point is cut the price. You can say, oh, well, I'll give you a 20% discount. I'll give you a 10% discount. I'll give you a 50% discount. And now you've destroyed the value of your product. So by having these tiers, breaking this product up into different tiers, having the economy model, having the middle grade model, and having the luxury model, by breaking it up, you can go to your client, you can present them the luxury model and say, hey, this is what you need, this is what you're looking for, trust me, this is what you want. You want that luxury model, and then they're going to come back and say, no, that's too much. I don't need all that kind of stuff. Let's go a little bit more sensible. And then that gives you the ability to back off and show that second tier model. And then you can even show that third tier model, and you can say, hey, you know what? If it's really too much for you, you can go with this. It's still going to get you some results, but it's not as good as the luxury model I was showing you. And you've protected the perceived value of your product without just flat doing a discount and saying, oh, just 50% off, whatever it takes to get the sale. Because as soon as you're doing that, you've destroyed the value of your product. As soon as you're saying, I'll do anything just to get the sale, then you've destroyed any sense of value. Now they know that you're desperate, and desperation is not productive. Desperation does not breed confidence. It does not breed trust. And it does not make your product feel valuable. It makes it feel cheap and desperate. That's what desperation is. So the other thing that you need to do along these same lines is, if you do offer discounts and if you do offer, promotional type things, protect their value with limited time offers. You're going to see that a lot this time of year, right? You see that a lot with Black Friday style sales. You see that a lot with Christmas sales. You see that a lot. From now until December 25th, get 20% off. From now until the end of the week, get 10% off. And those are all promotional, and those do all affect the value to a certain degree. But here's the thing. Use the limited time offer to protect the value. If they call you the day after, you have got, and I know this is hard. This is hard for a lot of people. If they call you the day after and say, hey, I want to see if I get that offer, and the offer is expired, the offer has to be expired. Otherwise, you've done the same thing. You've ruined the value. The perceived value is all you really have on just about any product. And as soon as you take that perceived value and you make it arbitrary, you've ruined it. So if you do a limited time offer, hey, from now until midnight, I'm going to give you 50% off this product if you register. And then they call you the next morning and say, hey, I meant to get to that last night, but, I didn't get around to it. So can you give it to me? You've got to say no, and that's going to protect it. So at the end of the day, offer three options. Offer three options. I like to tier them in, something like, the economical. A lot of people like to tier them like gold, silver, and bronze or something like that. I don't really like to do that because I I don't want the user to think they're getting less. I want the user to think that they're getting a tier that's adequate for them. So I like to tier things, as like beginner, and then maybe intermediate, and then maybe expert or something like that. That gives them something to strive for. Well, I'm a beginner now, but one day I'm going to be an expert. So I'm going to try to get up to that next tier. Gold, silver, and bronze just makes it sound like, well, you're just not that important to me. So I tend to stay away from that type of labeling. So remember to always tier your offers. That gives you wiggle room, and it also gives you that super powerful price anchoring so that people have a context of what your price is. Always avoid, just flat out changing your price, doing big discounts, anything like that. Protect the value of your product with limited time offers. Stick to your limited time offers, and you're going to keep that value. You're going to keep that value perception. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, be sure to shoot me one. Hopefully we'll be getting back out and doing some more videos out and about. I know everybody really loves the videos that I do that are kind of the man on the street questioning type thing. So I'm going to be doing more of those. Want to hear from you? Send me a message, shoot me an email. Love hearing from you. Drop me a comment. And until next time, I want to remind you as the Kanawha Valley Hustler to hustle hard, hustle smart, and hustle with a smile.